Good looking now, G.
Everybody have to tell you that he made you beautiful. Beautiful. Everybody have to tell you that God made you beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey there, excuse me, miss. No disrespect, you're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and God's to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit the game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. I love a fair without.
Welcome to The Hype, a show that focuses on issues that affect young women. This show is an extension of the Philadelphia CLA Project, which is a healthy lifestyles workshop for Black girls ages 14 to 18. Our workshops focus on healthy relationships, personal communication, gender and ethnic pride, and HIV/STD prevention education. We'll have more info about our workshops at the end of our program. I am your host, Jessica, and today's topic is Love is Blind, Domestic Violence Awareness. Domestic violence can be defined as any behavior from one partner that is used to maintain power and control over an intimate partner. Abuse is physical, sexual, verbal, or emotional actions used to influence another in a way that they do not want. Domestic violence can happen to anyone of any race, gender, or sexual orientation. It can happen to anyone who is married, living together, or simply dating. Today we're going to be discussing what are the signs of domestic violence, how it affects you, and more importantly, how to get out of one if you are in one. Before we get into our main discussion, we're going to throw it over to Miss Bonita with Lifestyles and Relationships.
Hi ladies, I'm Bonita, and this is Lifestyles and Relationships. Today I'm going to be giving you the early warning signs of dating violence. Your partner is jealous and possessive towards you.
What's up, baby?
Hey, what you doing?
Got off early.
Oh my goodness, I'm about to go out somewhere.
You about to go out?
Yeah, I thought you was going to be a little later than this.
So, where you about to go? And
Go out
who?
with some friends, just for some drinks.
Where?
Somewhere, I don't know. The girl's taking me.
Just like this?
Yeah, I'm going to be in the car. It's cool. Anybody wants
What
to
you mean it's cool? No, first off, it ain't cool.
Why?
Because I ain't know you was going out in the first place. In the second place, you going out just like this?
Here we go. Here we
Ain't
go.
no here we go. If you think you going out, then you wrong. Unless you want to go get changed.
So now I have to change my clothes?
That's right. That's right. And with the cell phone at?
Yeah,
So I'm calling, checking where you at. Get it.
Oh my God.
Oh, all this is a problem? You know what? How about this? How about you not even going out? Yeah. So you can go there and brush your hair for the rest of the night. You ain't going nowhere.
He tries to control you by being bossy.
Hey babe, it's getting kind of late. You want to go see this movie?
See what movie?
Beast of the Northern Wild.
Beast of the Northern. Well, I don't want to go see no chick flick.
We always go see what you want to go see. What about me sometimes?
No, I don't want to see that. I want to see that new joint where the ball shoot the ball in the face 10
You know
times
that's
in the
not
opening
healthy.
credit.
And I'm tired of seeing it over and
All right,
over
well, look,
and
how
over.
about this? If we going to the movies, we going to see what I want to see, or we ain't going nowhere. Go find out what time that joint start.
This is just ridiculous.
Make a couple of
Is this
sandwiches to take with
ridiculous?
us, too.
He is scary.
Hey, I couldn't wait for you to get home. I got great news
Great news about what?
about school. Remember I told you I couldn't graduate in December. It's going to be a possibility that I couldn't graduate. But now I
Yeah.
can graduate. I'm graduating.
Oh, that's what's up.
You don't seem so enthusiastic about it.
I'm saying what you mean to say.
Be supportive. Be proud of me.
Hey,
I
look,
worked
dig
so
this. Like I
hard
told
to
you
get my
before,
degree.
right? All right, you going back to school and that's all cool and everything. I ain't finished school. So when you always come in here all bragging about what you done did and all that, I feel like you trying to push something in my face.
I'm not trying to push
Yeah,
it
that's
in
what I
your
feel like you
face.
trying to act like you better than me or something.
But
You know what I mean? I
don't
told you
have
before how I
anybody
feel about that.
But I don't have anybody
I'm
else
saying,
to
but
tell my
watch your
good
tone
news
too.
to.
And like I told you, I'm saying, stop trying to push something in my face.
He pressures you for sex.
Hey,
Ready?
Not tonight. Not tonight.
What you mean
Not
not tonight?
I don't feel like it. My stomach is hurting.
Why is it always about what you feel like and don't feel like?
One day, just today.
I'm saying if
This
I'm
is the
trying to
first
get it down and I'm ready, then you should be ready too.
time. Not today.
You know what? All right,
Why you
well,
at
all right,
that?
here you go, here you go. Come here. You don't want to get it in? All right, here you go. How come? Why don't we just?
No.
What you
I
mean,
still gotta
no?
do something.
Listen,
I still gotta do
listen.
something.
If you love me, you'll do it.
He is violent.
Hey, babe, get up.
Come on, man. What I tell you about waking me up, man? What you mean get up?
Come on, I had a long day at work. I just got here. I'm tired. I want to wake you up.
Listen.
What?
How many times I gotta tell you? When you come in this house and I'm sleeping, don't wake me up. I don't care what it's about. Is it a fire?
It's not a fire.
Is the roof falling in?
I just want
Then don't wake me up for nothing then. You dig what I'm saying? What I tell you about what happened before when my last chick used to always wake me up for no reason? What I tell you about that? Stop having me tell you the same thing so many times.
He gets serious about relationships too fast.
Babe, I think we should get married.
We've only been together for 2 weeks.
I'm ready.
Abuses drugs or alcohol and pressures you to take them as well.
Yeah, hurry up, man. I'm down on the corner. Yeah, nigga, I got the money.
I don't believe this. 6 hours. I've been calling you. You have not been answering. What's up?
Look, I had to make a stop. I'll be back at the house in a few minutes. Go back to the house.
You've been going for 6 hours.
I know I've been going. I mean, I'll be back in a little bit, all right?
I want you home now, though. You've been home for 6 hours. The store's closed. You're supposed to go get bread. And now you smoking. Why you always have to smoke?
Because that's what I do.
That's not good.
And you know what? That's what you want to do, too. Take it.
I don't want it.
Take it. Take it!
He blames you when he mistreats you and says that you provoked him.
What I tell you, huh? I'm tired of telling you about the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, you put that on yourself. Yeah.
He has a bad history of relationships and he blames all women for his problems.
Yo, I don't even care no more. I swear, I don't even trust you. Yo, I don't trust no females. I don't even know why I even told you I would be in this relationship. All y'all do the same thing.
He made your family and friends warn you about him or told you that they were worried for your safety when he is with you.
Hey, girl.
Hey, what's up? I love that necklace.
Girl,
Where'd
I
you
love
get
that
it?
cardigan.
Thank you.
Why you always showing everyone in your mouth?
I haven't seen my friend in so long.
Yeah, all right, well, it's about that time to be getting that dinner right, ain't it?
Can I talk to my friend?
Yeah, you might want to get that dinner right. I'll be at the house. All right, friend.
Girl, don't end my attention.
No.
Girl.
I would watch that if I were you. Not cool at all. No.
It's okay.
No.
He gets angry when you are assertive about your wants and needs.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, dog. I'm saying we want to, get together on that and find out what's good. Hey, matter of fact, hold on, I'm gonna let her know right now. Hey, listen.
What?
My man having a fight party this weekend. All right? Saturday night. It's going down. All my homies gonna be there. We out.
But
All
there's
right?
gonna be females there.
I don't know, it might be, but I'm saying you always say you want to go out, so we going out on Saturday night, all right?
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, dog, we be down there, put us down.
Babe, I'm not feeling it. Tell him you gonna call him back. Please, please,
Let me call you right back, dog.
real quick. I don't want to go to a fight party. It's
Listen,
all men there.
You always talking about you want to go out, right? So I tell you, this is where we going to go, and it's still a problem? This is what I'm talking about. Don't come to me about no problems about not going nowhere if you don't want to do what I want to do.
These are the early warning signs of dating violence. Be aware, be ready, and be out. I'm Benita. Thanks for watching Lifestyles and Relationships.
If you're an African American girl between the ages of 14 and 18 and you'd like to participate in our workshops, please visit our website on the screen.
Today we're here with Moshe Loren, who is the founder of the Love Yourself campaign and who is also a radio personality on 100.3 WRNV. Hi Moshe, how are you?
Hi, ladies.
Hi. So, could you tell us more about your Love Yourself campaign, why you started it, what it means, and everything?
Well, I started the Love Yourself campaign because I am a survivor of domestic violence. And about 3 years ago, back in 2009, I decided that I needed to use my platform on the radio to really, send a message send a message in hopes that it would help someone to be able to come up out of their darkness and at least speak up and speak out. Because it's been so long. I've been so far removed from that situation that even though I've been removed from it physically, like emotionally, I was still kind of dealing with it, in my relationships, and I would see the remnants of that past still in my present day. And so I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. And instead of figuring it out, on my own, in my own little space and whatever, having the platform of radio to be able to talk to so many people, I'm like, I should probably start this healing journey with someone else who may need the same, healing, and maybe I'll give them the courage to kind of speak up and, come out with their own stories. So that's kind of how it was all born, if you will.
Okay. So I kind of heard you say, like, you, even after removing yourself, you still kind of felt some of the effects. What do you think some of the effects are of being in a domestic violence, relationship?
Well, for starters, you one of the things that you first discover about being a victim of domestic violence is that there's a lot of insecurity. Like you own a lot of insecurity, personal insecurities. And that's one of the things as a victim you kind of find comfort in an abuser, because they, in this pseudo way, kind of fulfill those securities, okay, or insecurities. And so I still, as an adult, I was still feeling kind of insecure. I'm like, gosh, I don't really like, and this is, comparing myself and not feeling like I measured up to, and that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then on top of that, I've been in several different relationships, and I'm like, they're not working out. And they're not working out because there's this wall there. There's this wall that says, you won't get past this wall, because if I let you past this wall, you may do the same thing that he did. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of subconscious things that were happening, that as soon as I stopped and really thought about why, because I think a lot of times when people talk about any issue, they always talk about the effect of it. Mm-hmm. Well, this is what ended up happening. But instead of starting with the effect, I had to go back to the cause. And that's what I discovered. My cause of my unsuccessful relationships were things that I was dealing with on the inside as a result of that abusive relationship.
Right. And I feel like sometimes when you're in the relationship, you don't even realize that you've changed. Like most people may be on the outside telling you, you're acting different, or you sure you're okay, and it's like you're in a bubble and you don't know what's going on outside, on the outside of the bubble, because you're in this domestic violence, situation. So
that's absolutely the truth. That's absolutely, you don't even know. Like people, I didn't identify the abuse as abuse. Mm-hmm. When my friends would say, "Girl, what you mean? Why is he calling you so much? Didn't you tell him we were going out?" Mm-hmm. I'm like, he just wants to make sure I'm okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then or if he did hit me, and then after the hit, it's always the apology. Like it's the best apology. They could probably write like an apologetic song that would go platinum, an abuser, because their apologies are so heartfelt and they feel so real and sincere. And so after the apology, it's like you start to think that the abuse was some, form of love or care. Yeah. It's weird when you're not in it to see it and interpret it as that. But what's even deeper than that is the fact that when you don't have you don't have a great depiction of what love is, because you've never really seen it between man and woman in your own household, living in a single household, you don't know exactly what to look for. Right. So you start creating your own definition of love.
So do you think that's one of the reasons why people remain in an abusive relationship? Because I always wonder, like, everyone looks from the outside and like, why doesn't she realize like this? Or why doesn't he realize that he's in one too? It's like, what is it, do you feel like, that makes people just stay in one?
Because they just don't know. They don't know. They don't identify. And this is what I'm saying. Like, identity is the first thing that you have to do in order to fix any situation. Alcoholism, drug addiction, any abuse, gambling, any abuse or any addiction or whatever that you really have to identify that, okay, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. And then when you figure out this is what it is, then you figure out, how do I get out of it? So that's why we stayed for so long, because we haven't accepted it the way you have.
Right.
I have a question. Mm-hmm. Earlier you were talking about defining what abuse is. Like, what is your term or definition to define domestic violence? Because I know people have different beliefs on it and they can define it in different ways. So what's your actual definition for it?
I want anything that doesn't feel good on the inside, because it isn't supposed to hurt. Love is love. The hurt that we get in love is the growing pains. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not a physical. It's not a physical kind of hurt. It's not a. It should never make you feel that you can't talk about it. It should never make you feel like you are imprisoned, like alone. you know, that's when you know that it's abuse. Because if you're scared to tell your girlfriend, if you're scared to call your girlfriend and say, girl, he just punched me in my eye. If you're scared to do that, then it must not be right. But you ain't scared to call your girlfriend and say, girl, do you know I just caught this man in the bed? You know what I mean? So it's kind of, when you know you can't talk about it, or you feel some type of way with talking and expressing it to someone else, it's probably because it ain't supposed to be happening. You know, so that's the best way I can, in layman's terms, that's the best way I can kind of sum it up.
Okay, and I had one more question. Earlier you were talking about abuse and getting out of an abusive relationship. My question is, I had a cousin before, she was in an abusive relationship, and I was always telling her, like, you need to get out. It was a child involved. One time he was hitting her, and then it transpired on a child, and she wouldn't leave because a child was involved, and she wouldn't leave because of financial constraints or financial reasons. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? How do you get her to get out of that situation?
You give her information, because what people don't realize about domestic violence is that there are so many resources that would help you. If your reason for staying is a financial reason, if your reason for staying is because if you leave him, you and the kids won't have health insurance, if your reason for staying is because you don't have any place else to go, there is a resource for every one of those things. And as a friend or a family member of someone who you know is going through domestic violence, you empower them with those resources, because they don't leave because they don't know that there's somewhere to go, that they can go and be protected and remain anonymous and all those things, because it's really, it can be some leaving that situation can sometimes, you know, trigger a whole nother dynamic of violence. So you have to be very careful in how you give them this information and how they determine how they leave. But these counselors, professionals, they do this every day. They know how to create a safe exit strategy for you to leave and for you to be protected.
One of the things that I find with abuse is that people find it really easy to identify physical, sexual abuse. But when it comes to things like, some people don't even realize that you could have financial abuse. So if he's if he's the one that has all the money, he's withholding it from you, and you can't do anything without his permission, that's another type of abuse.
Absolutely.
And some people don't even realize that, and they can't identify emotional abuse too. So how do you describe those and helping other people identify when it's not physical and it's not sexual, it's not very apparent to the outside world?
Well, the best thing I can say to anybody is that in any relationship, there's compromise. And relationships take two whole individuals to make it work. So anytime you're being deprived of, you know, the ability to partake in decisions within relationships, whether it be financial, you know, whether it be, emotional on how this relationship should be conducted. If you have no say-so in the relationship, it's not a relationship. It's the start of something abusive and manipulative, because you should be an equal. Your opinion, your views should be equally as considered as the other person. That's when you know you're like, wait a minute. So I don't have a voice here? Okay, what's going on? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you guys watch Love and Hip Hop?
Oh my goodness.
Stevie J. He's an abuser. He is an abuser. While we may not have seen him lay his hands on Mimi or Jocelyn, he is manipulative. He's a manipulative womanizer, because he's manipulated them in such a way that they are clinging to him and feel like they could not be without him.
And it's us looking at it, and we're just like, don't you see? Don't you see this?
Yeah, it's like we want to. So
and there's a root. I feel like with people in the domestic violence, there's something that there's something missing. I don't want to identify. I'm no psychologist or anything, but I feel like there's something in your past that may
the insecurity.
That may lead or something. Because with Stevie, he's an abuser and he doesn't really know how to treat women. But like you notice in the one episode, he was saying how he never had a relationship with his mother at all. At all, no relationship. And it's just like, how is it? And then Jocelyn, she never had a family. So I feel like there's certain factors that do you feel like there's certain things that make people more vulnerable to coming in these relations? Like what?
Hurt people. Hurt people. Stevie's hurt. He's never had a relationship with his mother. He doesn't understand how to treat women. I mean, that's your mom. In any relationship, growing up as a kid, the first relationships you have are with your mother and father. And they cultivate and they determine kind of how you see men and or women based on your relationship with them and their relationship with one another.
Right.
Stevie J didn't have a relationship with his mother. Neither did Mimi. And then Jocelyn, I didn't know about her not
She
having
just
a
didn't
family,
have anybody at all.
I mean, come on. So these people cling. It's like magnets. They're drawn to each other because of their own pain.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and it's it's almost like you feel bad for him, as bad for him as you do for how he treats them, because he's hurt too.
He is.
Abusers are broken people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they find security in the manipulation of other people.
Right.
Or the abuse through other people. That's their validation. So it's like when you talk about curing something like domestic violence, you can't just cure it on the victim side of things. You got to cure it on the abuser side of things, because they're going through something too.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like you got a dichotomist approach.
Okay. So go ahead.
Can we talk about alcohol and drug related with drug abuse? I mean, with domestic violence. Yes. Like what's the effect of that?
Oh God.
I know. I heard you talk about it earlier, but it was like brushed under the table. Like you mentioned it, but you really didn't talk about it.
You mean like how does one lead to the other?
Yes.
I mean, when you're high and addicted to some kind of external substance that alters your brain, so it could make you do a number of things: domestic violence, rob, steal, shoot, kill. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So that's just to me. That is the the gateway. Drugs is the gateway to just about anything in this world.
Okay. Let me read you some statistics about Philadelphia. So from 2007 to 2009, the domestic homicide rate rose up 50% in Pennsylvania. In Philadelphia, from 2008 to 2009, it went up by 71%, from 21 to 36 homicides. And in 2010, according to police statistics, there were 30 domestic homicides in the city. So what do you think could be done with this statistic just rising so much with what's going on in our city? And I don't think people are opening their eyes to what's going on, because I've heard many a times people say, I tried to call the police when he was about to hit me, and they didn't come.
Yeah.
They didn't come.
Sad. It's I sit on the board for the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and a large part of what we do as a coalition is we lobby legislation, to try to figure out how we can close the gap and, create some level of sensitivity with the people who are on the front line, like the police officers, the paramedics, and even at the hospitals, so that when people do come forward to try and get help, you have this first arm of people who will say to them, or who will try to get them to the next step of identifying that what they went through should never happen again. But they have such a level of insensitivity with all that's going on. It's kind of like, okay, he hit you. Okay, you took his cell phone. Why you take his cell? And then they it's like passe to them, and nobody wakes up until she's dead. She's dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that needs to be done in terms of a legislation standpoint, and I would encourage folks to certainly be a part of our coalition, because we have regular we have a committee of people who are committed to changing the legislation, even when they go to court with the restraining orders that are issued. The restraining orders that are issued, it takes a lot of taxpayers' money for people to go before a judge and for them to not show up at court with the restraining order, And then when they have the restraining order, the enforcement of the restraining order isn't, the laws don't really protect the victim, because you certainly couldn't say, Mr. Abuser, get away from me. Exactly. The bullet goes through this paper.
It sure does.
So there has to be something a little more that would make a victim feel more confident in the system. If I tell you what's going on, how can I assure that you're going to protect me from this man? A restraining order doesn't help me.
I even have a question. You're speaking about now how domestic violence is viewed in law enforcement, but also families. Sometimes when people are in relationships, marriages, people kind of like, if let's say I were in a domestic violence relationship and I told you because you're my aunt or something like that, families sometimes look at it like it's just marital problems. Oh, it'll just brush past. It'll be okay. What would you say to somebody who's in that situation maybe and is looking for help and has a voice and tries those things that you said, restraining orders, or try to speak to different people? People are just brushing it off. What would you say to that person who, like you said, may be a little insecure to go and get help? Like what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say that if family and friends don't believe and won't help you, if you reach out to a domestic violence resource center, their job is to believe you. Their job is to believe you and help you through those steps of getting out of that situation. And from there, I think once you take the steps to kind of get out, I think your family will then kind of follow along. Because family are the first people to say, first people to kind of push you away, because you've probably been there before. And then they just get fatigued. You know what I mean? Compassion fatigue, because you're just going to go back to them, they'll say. You know, so if you are earnestly leaving, you get in touch with one of these DV resource centers, let them help you get out. And family will start to believe, okay, she really wants to get out now. Let me assist, let me help. But, you know, my family took their hands off of me after, you know, so many times of crying wolf and never leaving.
So last but not least, could you tell everyone how they can get involved with your campaign if they want to help, if they want to know more about it?
Well, they can email me on our station's website. If they go to rnbphilly.com, my email address is there. And I do a lot of outreach, personal outreach, and so I would love to have, you know, people who are passionate about the cause and who want to share their own stories to come and kind of, you know, couple up with me to go out and do some outreach and talk to people. I would love that.
All right. Thank you for coming. We enjoyed this whole conversation.
Thank you.
So now let's see what the word on the street is.
I think usually it's because they let people push them over because of the love they supposedly have for somebody, but it's not really love. You just let somebody keep doing it and doing it after they keep telling you they love you and this, that, and the third. Like, it's not reasonable. There's no reason behind it whatsoever.
Well, the first thing I think is because of love. I think, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship, it's kind of hard to get yourself out of. So therefore, they stay and deal with the bull crap, rather than leave and go somewhere else. Whether if it's a short-term relationship, it'll be easier to get out of. So.
I'm Al Butler from 900 AM WURD.
I'm Charisma McElwain from the CW Philly.
Hey, what's up? This is Kyla Pratt.
Hey, what's up? I'm O'Shea Loren from 100.3 WRNB, and you are watching The Hype.
You're watching The Hype.
And you're watching The Hype.
If you're an African American girl between the ages of 14 and 18 and you'd like to participate in our workshops, please visit our website on the screen.
Domestic violence should not happen to anyone, ever, period. But it does. And when it does, there is help. If you or anyone you suspect is involved in domestic violence, please consider contacting one of the agencies below. We hope that this episode has brought some awareness to domestic violence, because it is such a serious topic and should not be taken lightly. That is it for our show. We will see you next time on The Hype.
Good looking now, G.
Anybody ever tell you that he made you beautiful? Beautiful.
So
Anybody ever tell you
beautiful.
that God made you beautiful? Beautiful.
Hey there, excuse me, miss. No disrespect, you're very precious. Please tell me what's your name. You're a precious gem and God's to blame. No, I'm not trying to spit the game, cause it's your soul I'm trying to claim. You probably never heard of this. A love affair without a kiss. All the diamonds in the world could never amount to your value. You're a precious pearl. So as anybody ever tell you that you did anybody ever tell you that God made you, He made you beautiful?
What's up, beautiful? Look at your style, beautiful smile, beautiful essence. You a beautiful child. I mean, a grown woman, you're grown woman. You in the wrong zone, but it's on when he make you his own. Daddy